YouTube. I'm back at Final Fantasy. Just in case, for whatever reason, it's actually going to record sound this time. Go ahead and turn the Book of Job off. Oh, Madge, you silly bastard. So we're going to return to Final Fantasy. I am in my tent, so I really can't be as talkative as I was earlier today. But that's okay, because this is going to be a grindy mid-dungeon, or tween dungeon, I guess, episode. So I'll go ahead and turn them down so you can turn me up. Madge is in a mood and it's hilarious and I love it. But he probably doesn't want me sharing everything he says to me like that. You don't need to know what was in that audio clip. I'm in my tent and it's dark. Here, I'll let you see what... Come on now. Neat. I figured out how to pause. But here, I'll show you. Yeah, that's what my camera can see. See a little bit of my darky face? It's dark in here. Yeah, so, no camera this time. That gives you an opportunity to tell me that you prefer me fiddling with my camera while I record, or let's see if I actually got this right. Check this out. I think I know. I do. Neat. Okay. That's not great for your viewing, but it is good for me. Because if I forget what I'm doing, or what I'm thinking, or what I can talk about, you may be okay with me skipping big chunks of these fights. I wouldn't. I like to watch every one of them, and so if I were watching, I know what I would want to see is every fight. Especially in this game, because this game will drop you a TPK just to do it. TPK, for those who don't play D&D or didn't play D&D, old school D&D, TPK means total party kill. Damn. It's what bad DMs are looking for. The reason bad DMs are looking for it is because they understand, rightly or wrongly, in my opinion is wrongly, but they understand the game, Dungeons and Dragons, to be a competition between the dungeon master and the players. Because they played too many old school video games. The old school video games, especially the NES and SNES, well, especially the NES and older, were absolutely trying to brutalize you, but the reason they were trying to brutalize you was so you would have to purchase the game or rent it 1,000,000 times in order to finish it. They wanted you near max level back in the day. They don't want you near max level anymore. Like, I played the Star Ocean remasters, and they've scaled, I don't know how much they've scaled it down from the original, because I never played the original, but I know they've scaled it down to be easier, but then the final boss is still max level. It goes, you're like level 60, level 60, level 60, and then everything jumps up into the 90s, and that's because, yeah, they'd scaled the game down to make it manageable for reasonable humans to play, and then basically they just put a difficulty barrier on it that you have to max out. You just have to. You can do it in the final dungeon. It's not even that grindy or tedious. I just didn't feel like it. I didn't like the story enough. Frankly, I thought Star Ocean was stupid. I thought both of them that I've played have been stupid. And that the stories didn't connect annoyed me. It's probably why is it called Xenogears? Xenosaga? Xenoblade. That's probably what the Xenoblade Chronicles games do. Okay, so this is where... Oh, wait. I bet you I made a mistake. Let me see something. Mystic Key, I have made a mistake. It's okay. I'm in my tent. My leg is getting tired from the way I'm positioned. That hurts. And I was eating my dinner. As you want to know, my dinner consists of a loaf of white bread. I actually couldn't be happier about that. You might think, that's not dinner, that's just noshing on... Why didn't that turn off? That's just noshing on bread. Well, bread is what I have access to. I actually have half a loaf of pumpernickel and the densest loaf of rye bread I've ever seen. But I'm gonna try to make those last till the weekend, so you don't have to listen to me bitching about how hungry I am all weekend. If you did not come here from the main channel, I don't know if I said it, I am Shaggy, Philolitea. I have a main channel by that name, Shaggy Philolitea. I am homeless. I like it that way. That doesn't mean that I couldn't use a few bucks. I think there's a girl in town who's sweet on me. She told me her favorite colors. And so I think that means that I'm supposed to get her a gift themed in those colors to tell her that I reciprocate her affections. I think she's cute, and I like talking to her, and she's a petite librarian. And I often think about it, but probably the only way I'm leaving this situation on purpose is because I met a girl and I decided I was going to get married. But that's going to be awkward because I'm not going to want to be an earner. So you gotta find a girl who really just wants companionship, and the problem with that route is I've done that before in my life. And women who only want companionship have a really nasty habit of also being nasty, just unkind, frankly mean. Now, as we were discussing, these are girls wanting to stretch out your engagement time with them. That's what this one is currently doing to me. So, they have these boxes that I haven't been going to because I know where they are and they annoy me. Just clicking on them annoys me. But we're going to these boxes that are locked by what's called the Mystic Key, if you've never played this game. I'm not going to tell you much about how to do that. I'm not going to tell you much about what's going on either. That's not really what this is about. If you want to watch a Final Fantasy Let's Play channel, I can become a Final Fantasy Let's Play channel, but you'll have to tell me exactly what you want, and it will come with Patreon subs. Meaning you're going to have to pay me for it. Because that's not what I want to do. I mean, I want to play Final Fantasy, but I don't really want to talk directly about Final Fantasy. I'm reading about Joe, what I'm feeling like I tend to do when I actually read scripture for myself. I'm feeling betrayed, feeling like I've been misled. This book, nothing that people ever say about scripture is useful. Always have to read it for yourself, and the more of this I'm reading for myself, the more thankful I am to have the time and the social isolation necessary. Shit, good job. The time and the social isolation necessary, because if I weren't vlogging this, I would be highly irritable and it would be difficult for me not to talk about it with strangers at random. And one of the things you can't do is just start talking about how the Bible is misleading you on the bus. I told you a story about a guy who tried to do that to the bus driver, and what she didn't want was to engage in that conversation. But I have been misled. The Book of Job is a dialogue. It's a Platonic dialogue. It understands itself as a Platonic style dialogue. It reads with the rhythms of a Platonic dialogue. It's an argument between Jews about evil, and yeah, it is decidedly a dialogue. Job gets into these arguments with different characters, different people from different places, different stations in life, his children, his wife, his friends, his community. And that part is left out of every discussion I've ever heard of this book. That he's dialoguing and that he's arguing. Mostly they just talk about how he's lamenting, and it just, the people who are responsible for reading this book and talking about it are just clearly affected in the wrong way, obviously impatient to be done with the Bible because they're philosophy students and majors, and what they think to themselves is that the Bible is a different kind of thing. It's not philosophy, it's not intellectual, it's scripture, and they're very, very, very stupid and annoying. And it's kind of funny, actually, because the people I'm feeling betrayed by are the great courses. They have a lecture series that I've encouraged you to read, listen to. In large part, I think I already got this just in the store, but I encourage you to listen to in large part because of what they have to say about the Book of Job, and they gloss over that the Book of Job, A, understands Satan to be God, one of God's aspects, the God of the God of Job. The man is a very different being than Job, the author, presents. And what that means is that Job the man is a fiction. You can know that by reading it. But it also means that Job the man is speaking in dialogue form. Dialogue sets up the Platonic dialogue establishes the format for the novel. And so the only thing, as far as a novel is concerned, that Job is missing is travel from place to place as he argues with his friends and neighbors and family about his relationship with God, and whether his evident curse is his own doing or the work of a capricious and evil demon. And so what that means is that the Book of Job was written by a Sethian. And what that means is that the Book of Job is a work of proto-Gnosticism. And no one will tell you that because Gnosticism is associated in the modern world with Thelema, OTO, and Aleister Crowley. And so nobody wants to give Aleister Crowley the nod that he might have been onto something. In large part because the people that I was describing that are doing this, philosophy majors, haven't read. They think they've read widely because they've read all this bullshit philosophy of the modern and pre-modern era, but they haven't read widely. This is a great time. I have a whole list of things I'm going to sit down, probably this weekend, and I'm going to play and probably beat this, and I have a whole list of topics. So that may be good for you, but it may be bad for you, but it's good for me to be organized and to get back to doing the gaming. I have a whole series of videos on Shaggy Philalitea, the main channel. I used to game and talk to myself like I'm doing now. Separately in time from most of them. I played a lot of Brotato, and so what I would do is I would play Brotato for a half an hour and then talk until it was over, and then stitch half an hour videos to the audio because I had a laptop and I could do that sort of thing. But I also did a full Let's Play of Sea of Stars, which I absolutely hated. And because I hated it so much, I had planned on doing it the same way. Playing it and beating it in I did hour or 2 hour, whatever, I did segments. And the original plan was to chop that up into half hour or even shorter 10-minute sections and then explain what I liked and didn't like about the dungeon and just do an extended series of reviews. And I didn't do that because I fucking hated it. And so what I decided is that that would be I would demonstrate bettering myself through overcoming adversity by doing something I absolutely hated and dragging you through all of whatever, 20 or 30 hours. That game's actually pretty short. Thank God. It's fucking terrible. And I'm back to doing the Shaggy thing where I don't really know what I'm talking about I can't really remember from moment to moment what I'm thinking about, what I was talking about before I switched to something more important. And I want to do these live. Doing these live will make more sense. But for whatever reason, Twitch doesn't save my streams, so I'm not going to do Twitch until I've got a laptop or a more reliable live audience. And by reliable, I mean a paying live audience. Come on. Come on. Yes. I'm like, man, don't kill loose. For those who are just coming in on this, the first episode, 5th episode on this channel, I named my characters random except for Drugs, and maybe Trues, whatever the other one's name is. But the thieves, I just auto-generated names for. So I have to double check that that's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing every once in a while. And how long I've been at it. Yeah. I told you this one's going to be grindy. Okay. And now I'm going to come in here and see if there are any spells I need. No, I'm not. I'm going to struggle without warp. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, I gave that one no frost. And that one fox. So I'll give... This is stupid. I don't ever use this. I will never cast that spell. But... I'm almost giving them these spells. I'm almost giving them the spells at random. Even I can't always remember which one has which. Okay. So now now we open those chests. You don't really get anything. They're the stuff you get for warriors. But that's all played. But at the Pisco Demon fight, turns out, is actually a ruse. You actually have to go back down in that hole and go even deeper to get the first boss. If you don't know the game, I won't spoil you as to what the first boss is. It's really funny to me how differently they level up. Like, Loris has so much less health than Luce, but last time I looked had like almost 3% more dodge. Evasion is what it's called. I do have to be careful. It's only 7:30 and I am squatting. I have to watch my battery too. This drains battery fast. But I wanted to get a few more hours on. Maybe an hour or two more of work. I was finding lying around playing my grindy mobile game, The Tower, while I listened to the Bible, while I wasn't finding it boring, I was finding it intellectually dissatisfying. I haven't gotten as much work done, as much recording time. I haven't spent as much as I would like to. But that's because I was all but running to Christ's table, their kitchen. They serve food for free. Today's lunch was so good. The Amish made Salisbury steak and dessert, and it was just so good. But I was basically just going through the line, eating as quick as I could and leaving because honestly, I thought I was unwelcome. I didn't think that anybody particularly wanted me there, or really, I thought that I was unwanted there, that I was expected to do that, and then I just didn't one day, and people started talking to me, and so now I go through the line 2 or 3 times and get 2 or 3 coffees. Today I was just sitting and reading my Bible, and people sit down and they talk to me, and it's kind of like I'm reliving that non-linear narrative cycle of childhood. In fact, today I even made a joke. One of the ladies, she was nice, and I told the story about her, told other stories about our conversations, but when she sat down, she said she was annoyed because her boyfriend was at another table and was just blowing her off, pretending like she wasn't there and didn't make room for her to sit down, so she called some friends to come and eat with her, and because eating alone is awful, and we agreed on that. She and I, we talked about that it's awful to eat alone. I didn't tell her this, but I've been doing it for years. It's just awful. And yeah, it's like I'm back in school. It's actually kind of hilarious how much this cafeteria is like school. Just like the cafeterias in school, and it's kind of neat, especially because the lunch ladies were always my favorite people in school. Because they were always cool to me. They were always nice. They're always ready with how are you doing? And here you go. And a little bit extra because I said please and thank you, and I always told them how good yesterday was. And so I went and told the ladies, like, you're not going to hear this, nobody's going to tell you this, but this is amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. I told that story already, but that's my personality. And anyway, I'm getting a reputation as a kind and gentle person. And I've told you before, maybe in a short on the main channel, but I'm gonna repeat myself. I want to repeat myself on things like this. What you want is to be gentle, especially if what you want is to change minds and hearts. You have to have a deft and gentle touch. You see why I didn't open this stuff while I was leveling up? Now there's no point in not, because the next section is more difficult, and the next boss is an actual boss. The last two boss fights that we've done have just been big trash pulls. I get bored. Non-zero chance somebody will want to text and laugh with a homeless person. And non-zero chance I can change hearts and lives just by being gentle. And I don't mean in the bedroom. I just mean by having a gentle touch, easygoing approach to life, not to dating. Not really interested in dating. I think I've said that in this, that there's a girl that I have a crush on and I think she likes me back. So it's not about that. Does he protest too much? Probably. Everybody's on Tinder. It's more interesting than Twitter. It's the same thing anymore. Twitter's so gross. And it's not even because they let the porn happen. The porn was already happening. It's just become a big orgiastic dating app. And the women just get hornier and hornier and hornier. Because they monetize off it. So they're just whores. Just everyone is like that. Everyone just says such ugly, evil shit. Encourages one another to such just horrific acts of evil, in my opinion. And you might think they're not that big a deal, but I'm not the only person I'm aware of who has walked away from Twitter because it's just what they say is that it's just so political, but it's become like Facebook. Everybody's just there to fuck. I'm not there to fuck. I'm not even on Tinder to fuck. I'm not 20 anymore. 37. That shit's just a waste of time. Just opening myself up to the universe because I don't know what's out there in it. Alright, so some of these, I think the ones on the bottom have they're locked by the mystic key. You know what I should have done? I'm going to end up having to go back to town to restock on mana, but I'm always going to call it mana, even though it's spell points in this. Spell slots, even. This is why I always run from these. Fuck you, man. And poison. I'll take the damage. Actually makes more financial sense to spend the money than it does to spend the spell points, spell slots, whatever, but we can do this. Oh yeah. This has gotten powerful. Good job, Darrow. probably do this like our last grind episode, and I'll just leave off when I get to the boss if I don't have to run back. You know, it's funny, I'm sitting here thinking about, like, how I'm not really worried about my pop-ups, what are those called, notifications or whatever, because I don't have anything to hide. And then I started to use the word transparency, and that's interesting because I am of the opinion that transparency culture, especially when we're talking about in the realms of political transparency, or not just political correctness, but fairness. It was a big deal during Bush's presidency, W's presidency, that both sides of the argument get equal time, fair coverage, right? But fairness culture, political transparency culture, beyond being an obvious farce, is just a lie. They're not actually transparent. They're giving the appearance of transparency, which is why people just automatically disregard or disbelieve when I'm being actually transparent. That's why that's why we say things like projection, or we accuse people of protesting too much. I do it all the time. But I do it all the time because 9 times out of 10 when somebody is protesting doing a particular behavior, it's because they're the very worst about doing it. Usually. It's kind of like what the joke is about, though. He's like, I'm protesting so loudly about evil people, about sinners and blasphemers and adulterers in 1776, nice, and rich people, people who take advantage of people, and people who refuse to feed the hungry, and people who refuse medical care to the sick, and people who just refuse to be helpful in general. Like, nothing bad ever happens to these people. Like, when was the last time a lightning bolt struck you in the head because you didn't hold the door for a little old lady, right? And I think that the reason I'm so betrayed is because I didn't know, having not read it, just having listened to people talk about it, because they're supposed to know and be able to talk about it fluently, like they've read it, that it's not only God who tells him to suck it up. Everyone tells him to suck it up. And he goes, well, why am I the only one who has to suck it up? Why am I the one being mistreated? And then why are you mistreating me because I am mistreated? And I wouldn't have related. I would have just probably done what they did and thought he was being whiny. I wouldn't have really thought about it. And I wouldn't have been bothered enough by listening to it to feel like I needed to be doing something else. Frankly, if I had never been homeless, if I had never felt blighted by God, if I hadn't spent 2 weeks absolutely arguing with God, yelling at God, telling my friends and everyone who would listen that God was cursing me and I had done nothing but try to live his word. Not just his word, but in his image. And I lost so much. It just kept getting worse. Sure, sometimes I would get money. I was able to get money a few times that way. But then, God made it very clear, like, you're not making a living out of shit-talking me. It's just not happening. And it didn't happen, and it's not gonna happen. He's not gonna change his mind on that. And in large part, I can be confident about that, what I just said, because God doesn't change his mind particularly often. God lives in the future. God might be another name for the future. If you're paying attention around these parts, it is. But I'm sorry, I gotta put my socks somewhere else because dirty socks are gross. But also they're gonna get really cold and they're gonna freeze in the night where I have them. Everything I own is gonna get really cold and freeze in the night. I should have paused, you're right. Next time I will remember I can do that. I made a big deal about how I figured out how, and then I just utilized my knowledge. Probably because I thought I was talking. I don't know why I do this. I feel like I need to, or even feel like I can accomplish 2 tasks at once. It's a certain amount of my mind goes blank. And the same way you've witnessed, I've shown you so many times, I'll be talking and my mind will just empty itself. And so I'll be looking for something to do. The first thing I think is, you should check to see if the hot hands in your sock is hot enough to dry your socks. And then I touch my socks and they're wetter than they were when I took them off because it's gotten cold, and no, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. You know the Tom's commercials where they say, I think it's Tom. No, there was a sock company. They had a really funny name too. Anyway, there's an internet sock company, I'm pretty sure, that does like the MeUndies thing. And part of their ad, part of their sales pitch is that the thing the homeless and the needy need the most is socks. And it was a surprise to the owner of the company that that's actually what they asked for. And so he decided to dedicate his time in his life to making high quality socks, and then for I think it's actually every pair he sells, he donates a pair to a homeless shelter or whatever. But socks are a thing. I really need to throw these ones away. They're disgusting. And they're just never getting dry this winter. Just never getting dry this winter. Okay, here we go. Boss fight. And I don't know how much socks are going to cost me. $5. I thought that the church... Oh, does this... Am I confused? There's a good chance I'm confused. Really good chance Luce is dead. Ooh. Well, that's how much better I am. I took significantly less time. I also got a lot less XP from it. Wow. Okay. Shouldn't have done it that way, but I did it that way. Oh, maybe all of these rooms have pesco demons. I don't remember that. Well, that could be a problem. Who remembers what I was talking about? I hope all these rooms don't have pesto demons. I don't like pesto. Alright, we're running long. I wanted these to be a neat half hour, but I just don't have that in me. The ability to stop or remember when a half hour is crossed. I just don't have the ability to put on a 25-minute timer. It's about work of love, though. This is a labor of love. It's not even it is fun, but it's not about doing it because it's fun. It's about doing it because it needs done, and I need doing. I need something to do. I mean, I don't. Madge might not like it, that his texts pop up on these videos, but I'm gonna be real. I love that guy, and his enthusiasm for Hearthstone moves me through the day. It really does. We talk about everything under the sun all day long, and I've challenged you elsewhere that he is my first, he was the first, and he's the most. Oh great, he got a little bit of a stream. He's been struggling with his internet, so that's great news. I'm actually really glad about that. That's what I'm trying to say, is that I root for that guy, and all of his successes are my successes. And I give him credit for my successes because he's a friend to me. It's not just that he does the being a friend. It's not just that he pays me $25 a month. And it's not just that for the Patreon. It's not just that he believes in me and he supports me. And it's that he's also out there fighting his fights and getting his wins, you know, and I just don't have to blow smoke up his ass constantly to keep him moving. Watch a match. That's what I'll do next, actually. Fuck, Loris, no. Oh, great job, Luz. Save your brother. I actually prefer to think of the thieves as female, but I got that bad news bears. Not a mana anyway. Okay, so I have no more heals. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play it safe and we're just gonna leave. And then I remember that bottom left one still needs to be opened. And then I'm gonna have some trouble remembering how to get the fuck out of here. I mean, down to the next spot. I'll just open the map. I forgot that was a thing I could do. It's not a thing I think you can do in the original. And it's funny, I'm 85% sure those these maps that they provide this, 85% sure this is from the strategy guide. Okay, so I did all of them but the bottom left one. And then I went in. Looks like I've been in all of those doors except for those two. That can't be right. Because that's where the Pisco unit is. Okay, so that's probably the way down. Okay. I shouldn't have looked at. Oh my god, I should not have let this fight happen. Oh, those hit so hard. Oh my goodness. And I'm poisoned. I don't think I have another heal. So that means we're gonna go into flee mode. Run. Run like scared children. Wait a minute. Oh, this isn't good. Is it this one? Oh, fuck. Oh no, I'm gonna get lost and not remember how to get out. This is the worst dungeon in the game. That's not true. They're all pretty fucking rough. They're all like this. Oh no. Oh no. They weren't trying to do well, they just weren't trying to do what modern or even games after them were trying to do. Like the dungeons in Final Fantasy II are pretty straightforward because the game is narrative focused, and so wasting your time and getting into a bunch of, well, wasting your time is not what we're doing, but, you know, using your time and getting you into a bunch of random battles, just, it wasn't what they were trying to do. They knew that you would do that on the overmap, trying to figure out where the hell everything is in the world. And you will. That's a game I've beaten 3 times, and I still don't know where the fuck anything is. But as you can see, that may be a Shaggy thing. Good. That explains why. No, it doesn't. I'm like, well, Luce having all the armor explains why Luce takes such an ass whooping. No, it doesn't. Luce has all the armor. Okay, you gotta take this seriously. You don't have warp. You're gonna die down here. No, fuck. Speak of the devil. These things, man. Kill it. We're just gonna have to go to auto flee soon. I'm never getting out of here. This happens to me all the time. Something about this dungeon. It's where you're at as far as like just your skills, what you have available to you. And you know, none of these games, these old games, did not have save points in the dungeons where you could drop down a tent, or in this case a cottage would be fucking phenomenal. Actually, I have a cottage. I can just get to the surface and use the cottage. I really don't remember how the fuck I got down here. I messed up so bad. And you're just going, God, you're really bad at this game. For a person who hasn't memorized where to go from where. You haven't memorized the dungeons. I know. It's problematic. Fuck. I'm gonna die down here. Oh my God, and they're just not taking it easy on me. And it just doesn't. Dodge doesn't work when you're stunned. I'm gonna die down here. I'm dead. I know I could have used D up. I'm trying to save my mana. I'm dead. I am fucking dead. Time to freaking run. I'm going to die. These crawlers have killed me with their freaking paralysis. I am gonna die. I am gonna freaking die. I got away. I could cheat. Oh my God, I don't remember where this room is. Somebody is just screaming about how badly I'm playing all of a sudden. Oh. Okay, now everybody's fleeing, so we can just auto-flee for a while. Where is this room? Did I just walk past it? Oh my God. Yep. Fuck you, pieces of shit. I really thought it was this one. Fuck. Oh, hey, I found it. That's right, it's not in it. God damn it. Okay, it's fine. I was running anyway, just extra expenditure. And I can't wake him up at the cottage, so that means I gotta go all the way back. That's a bummer. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, actually, is if I get to the surface, we're gonna call that good enough, and then we're just gonna go... I'll see you next episode. Oh my God. Do I remember where it is on this floor? I could turn off the combat if I wanted. I really could. If you haven't figured it out yet, headphones are going to be recommended with all of my work. Come on, don't do this to me. Don't do this. They're zombies. Don't do this. Oh my god. Now I'm just holding my breath. That one has my mana. Not anymore. Okay. So we're gonna get back to town. Oh. Yep. I'm dead. I'm not making it back to town. I need a quick save or something. Fuck. That's my last heal item too, wasn't it? I don't want to waste a tint on this. Oh my god, I cannot believe I'm doing this. This is antithetical to everything I believe in. That was a huge amount of money to waste just to get back to town. Oh my god. Thank goodness. These guys could actually probably stand toe to toe with this stuff, but what I don't want to do is get them higher level than the thieves. Okay, we made it back to town. Thank you very much for listening. I am Shaggy Philolitea. The channel you are currently watching is Talking to the Future. The reason it's called Talking to the Future, if you don't already know, is because that is an idiom, a maxim, an aphorism, a saying that I came up with while I was podcasting and doing lives on Twitter. Whenever I would have guests, I would encourage them to offer a message of hope to the future. You know, say something to the future. People really liked that. They liked it enough that someone actually tried to make fucking t-shirts, suggested making fucking t-shirts with my idiom on it and not giving me every single dollar of the proceeds. In fact, using my idiom and my maxim that I created for myself to keep myself sane while I talked to the future, because when you do live, you're not supposed to be talking to the future. You're supposed to be talking to an audience of people who were there, but no one ever was. So I'm going to talk to the future, and here we are. Now I'm recording myself talking to the future because I can't go live. But I might also be talking to God. You've heard me say that. I think that the future might be God. And so, in whatever way that could possibly be, what that means is that our children are God. This next generation is also God. And so in that way, we want to be talking mostly to young people. And young people, you want to spend more time talking with people my age and older. You really do want to get to know the generations that came before you better. It will round out your education, and it'll make you the kind of person that people want to help and give free things to. So, thank you for being here. Remember to keep your eyes open, your hands up, your palms open, your head on a swivel, and to do better every day. I believe in you. Take care of yourself, kids.